Hey, what's going on? This is Joshua Ingalls, and I'm here with the youngest millionaire that I know. He's 16 years old. He's written 9 books. He's been on stage with Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, and even Tony Robbins. He's even been to Arnold Schwarzenegger's house, among many other celebrities. This kid is killing it on social media, is impacting the lives of people all across the United States and the world. So, absolute pleasure. Thanks, Caleb. I really appreciate you meeting me here.
Yes, sir.
His name is Caleb Maddix. So, Caleb, tell me a little bit about yourself. I heard a story your dad told us that in your kindergarten graduation, when they asked you, what do you want to be when you grew up? You had a really tough time to even
answer, yeah. Well, first off, here's what I'll start out by saying. First of all, it's an honor to be interviewed by you because I have so much respect for what you're doing online. Like, I travel the world, teaching people how to do social media and stuff of that nature because I've had videos that have reached 40 million people and dozens of viral videos, and you do it right. Like the content you put out, the type of videos you do, the creation that you have, like the creative mindset. I'm just impressed. So keep killing it with that, man.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I mean, a lot of people see, I always say a lot of people see the glory, but they don't see the story.
Yeah.
A lot of people see where I am at now. They see, I'm a 16-year-old millionaire. They see me, traveling the world, being voted in the top 20 most motivational people on the planet, hanging out with, like you said, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, all these type of people. But they don't see where I came from. And, even in, like you said, my kindergarten graduation, all of my friends, we were all assigned to go up when we graduate from kindergarten and say what we want to be whenever we grow up. And all my friends did it flawlessly. Yeah. And I was like, man, I was getting really nervous whenever I was about to go up. I was like, how old are you whenever you graduate? Maybe 6 years old, that age. So, all my friends go up, say it, and it was my turn. Step up to the podium, and I go to say what I want to be whenever I grow up, and I froze. I started crying, and I ran off the stage. And I was the only kid in my entire class that didn't go up to say what they want to be whenever they grow up. Wow. But now at 16 years old, I'm able to get on stage in front of thousands of people, have no nerves, and do that. And the reason why is obviously there's a progression, but it's really 2 things. Number one, pushing out of my comfort zone. My dad never allowed me to believe that I wasn't confident. Yeah. I feel like that's key. A lot of you guys label yourself with things that you don't want to be, you don't want to be. I always say, don't say anything about yourself that you wouldn't want others to say about you, and don't say anything about yourself that you wouldn't want to become true. Yeah. So if you say, I'm not confident, well, do you want to be confident? If so, then don't ever say you're not confident, because I was never allowed to say that. And then second was whenever I was 7 years old, I went over to a friend's house, and my friend's mom, we were sitting there watching TV. My friend's mom walked up to him while we were both sitting on the couch, tapped him on the shoulder, and handed him a $20 bill. And at that point, I was like, man, you got $20. What'd you get $20 for? And she said that he did these things called chores. And anytime he would take out the trash or do the dishes or do the laundry, all that stuff, at the end of the month, if he did it, he would get paid to do chores. And you seem like that's a normal concept, but to me it wasn't, because even though I was doing that stuff, I wasn't getting paid to do it. So I immediately went back. As soon as I saw my dad, I was like, Dad, you've been screwing me over, right, Dad? Come on, man, my friends get paid to do chores. I've been doing chores, I don't get paid for it. He said, no, I'm not gonna pay you to do chores. And I was like, why? All of my friends are getting paid to do chores. He said, no, because whenever you're older, you're not going to get paid to do chores. You're not going to be paid to take out the trash, do the dishes, do the laundry, all that stuff. What you're going to be paid for is the books that you read. So we started from that moment on, paying me $20 for every single success book that I would read and write a report on. So I started reading all these business books, all these success books, and I really believe that's what took me from that little insecure, shy kid at that low place in my life to having the confidence and success I've had today, was straight up the hunger that I've had to learn. Remember this. The person hungriest to learn will always be fed the most results. And the key to success, KEY, is to keep educating yourself. Yeah. Learning, growing, that is the key. Constantly having that hunger for information. But most importantly, it's not just information that leads to transformation. It's information plus application that leads to transformation. So it's applying the things that you learn and putting into action.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many people I encounter that I would call them education junkies, right? They go to every seminar, every class, every 3-day retreat, every week retreat, but then it comes down to the implementation part.
100%.
So speed of implementation is key.
Yes.
Since you're 16 years old and you're a millionaire, I'd say you've been pretty quick at implementing.
And implementing what I learned, 100%.
That's awesome. So I would encourage anybody out there, if you have kids, stop paying them for chores.
Yeah.
Simple. Pay them exactly. I think that was absolutely the biggest takeaway I had from this entire time learning from you is that if you want your kids to develop and build themselves up, have them read a book and then write a report on that book. So I encourage you, if you're watching this video or listening to this audio.
Well, all the most successful people are the ones that have the deepest hunger to know more, to ask questions. Like I've been with billionaires, right? Yeah. Had a meeting with a 28-year-old billionaire. 28 years old, he's a billionaire. He could easily sit there and just let me ask him questions the entire time, but me and him were fighting to ask questions because he wanted to know from me, he wanted to learn. And I'm over here 16 years old and he wants to learn from me. Yeah. I've been with people, there's a guy I know I was in San Diego with, and he wanted, he's worth $500 million, and he was drilling me with questions about social media. Yeah. You found like Tony Robbins, when him and his friends used to, they used to go and speak or whatever because he had a lot of speaker friends, they would all go out and party, and he would go back home to his hotel room and read for 6 hours straight. It's the little things like that hunger to learn, that true wanting to know more, that true never feeling like you've arrived is such a big portion of your success.
Yeah, and you talked about, I heard you share your keys to a social media presence. So let's talk about actually the 4 C's. You talked about the 3 C's.
Yeah,
let's throw in that 4th one too.
Yeah, for sure. So I have multiple C's of social media, but there's really 3 that it comes down to of how I've been able to get the millions of views I've had, build the brand I've had online, and do the things I've done. The first C, number 1, is consistency. The thing about social media is people think that they're special. You know what I'm saying? They think that, yes, even though everybody else out there on the face of the earth has ever grown their social media or gotten results in any area, even though they had to be consistent, maybe I don't. Like maybe I'm gonna post one video and it's gonna blow up. But guys, here's the truth. You're not special, right? You have to do what every single other successful person's had to do, and that is be consistent.
Yeah.
Understand this, think about this, ready for this? Out of every single social media account that exists right now on the face of the earth, all of them started with 0 followers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every one of them. You look at someone like Justin Bieber, he has 100 million followers. You look at someone like, Selena Gomez, 120 million. Look at all these celebrities, hundreds of millions of followers. Yet they started their account with 0 followers. Yeah. Girl Ariana Grande, she has 110 million followers, and there's a tweet from her like 6 years ago saying, hey, thank you so much for 800 followers.
Yeah.
And that just shows you it's a progression. But the key is they were consistent. They put out stuff. And if you want results in social media, it's the same thing. So for me, people see me having 40 million views on a video. But what they don't realize is I've been doing videos since I was 8 years old, and all those videos get 100 views. My first ever video that got over 1,000 views, I was like probably 11 years old. My first one with 100,000 views was at 13. My first one at 1 million was 14. And now I'm all the way up to like 40 million. Yeah. Consistency wins every single day.
Yeah, you shared a story about, was it Meerkat?
Periscope.
Periscope, yeah. You posted a video and you only had 3 views.
Yes.
A lot of the people watching this, you might put out a video, you'll get more than 3 views, but one of those 3 people was Grant Cardone's sister.
Yeah, let me go and actually share that. So number 1 is consistency, which I'll cover that more in a second, but number 2 is content. And that means like providing value. See, a lot of people online, they want $1 million income, but they're providing $100 value. If you want to have a brand online, or you want to have success in any area of life, you need to be providing the most value. The most successful people do one very simple thing. They provide the most value. Jeff Bezos, worth $100 billion. If you look at him, he provides value to the world in insane ways whenever you order something that comes right away, right? Like that. The people who have the most success provide the most value. So for me, I remember whenever I was starting, my focus was not the numbers, but it was rather the value that I was providing to those numbers. So I did a Periscope, this live streaming app. It's Twitter's live stream. So think about like Facebook Live, Instagram Live. Did a Periscope, my second one ever. Only had 2 people. I had 4 people on in total, and 2 people were on during the entire thing. But I was still providing value. Even though there was only 2 people, it didn't discourage me. I still kept going, still kept dropping this truth. And I will say, like, that was one of the most fired up pieces of content I've ever put out to this date, right? Yeah. And you look at that, and most people, they get discouraged. Only 2 people, they're gonna end it. You could go talk to more people in the street than that. But it didn't discourage me because I thought, like, who are these 2 people? I'm gonna change their lives. I get a message the next week from a girl named Diane Cardone, and she was like, hey, I just watched your Periscope. I thought it was super great. You provided insane value. One of my favorites I've watched in a long time. She's like, I'm friends with, I'm the sister of Grant Cardone, who is,
Uncle G,
$500 million, millions of followers online, author of multiple books, like very successful. She said, I want to introduce you. Next thing you know, within 2 months, I found myself being interviewed by Grant Cardone because that one Periscope, and my career has taken off since then just because of a couple little things that happened after that. So if you look at that, like some of you guys get more than 2 people on your Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Some of you guys get more than 4 views on a video that you post. But because you're so focused on the numbers, that's what's holding you back. You need to be focused on providing value because you never know who it is that's going to be watching that video. You never know who it is that's going to come across. You never know if it's a producer at CNN or Ellen or something of that nature. If you just focus as people, you don't care if it's a billionaire or if it's Billy. You don't care. You just care about the people. You're going to win online and you're going to win in life. Value is the key.
Absolutely. So then what's the third C?
The third C is connecting. Connecting. Problem most people that they're consistent and they put out good content, but they don't connect with their audience. You have to connect. I remember my first ever 120 followers on Instagram all got a personal message from me. First ever video that had over 1 million views, had over 20,000 comments, they all got a reply from me. Wow. Every single one of those comments. And I can't do that now because I get way too many videos that have that many, but I try to reply to as many people as possible, especially the supporters. Try not to respond just to the haters because that's another thing that annoys me. A lot of times people get mad at the haters, so they'll respond to them, but they don't go and respond to the lovers.
Yeah.
So you need to be connected with the people that care about you, the people that are your fans, and develop that relationship. I tell the story, Airbnb, multi-billion-dollar company, whenever they started out, they were at the bottom. They only had 100 people using their product, and their goal was to get 1 million people to use Airbnb, and they couldn't make it happen. They tried for a year, 2 years, kept going, nothing. They got one piece of advice from one of their mentors that changed them forever. The mentor said, don't be focused on getting 1 million people to like you. Be focused on getting 100 people to love you. So they went out and instead of getting 1 million people to use their product, the 100 people that already were, they went and lived with them each for a week. Went and lived with them. Went and took pictures with them. Went and hung out with them. Went and cooked breakfast for them. Took out the trash for them. Met their kids. And those people were so blown away that the founders of a company would come and live with them that they actually went out and told their friends and told it, and now Airbnb is $1 billion company. They attribute it to that one simple thing. And that's how I view social media. It's not the number of followers, it's the following. Like, it's not followers, it's not the fact that you have 1 million views, it's the fact that the 100 people that watch your video, you connected with, you responded to their comments. They know that you care. And because I do that, you see me, yesterday we were all hanging out, it was me and a couple other kids my age, here out in Cancun, we were just chilling. And we're all on the bus ride back, and what am I doing? I'm Snapchatting my fans, going back and forth. Someone will respond crying, but it's like about connecting with your audience. That's a huge thing.
And then that leads us to our last and final C.
Which one did I use? Because I have so many C's. I forget.
You told me controversy.
Controversy. That's the secret. Okay. Yes, because like I said, I have a list of like 12 total C's.
Okay.
Then I shared the 3, and then one just popped out of the blue during my speech. That's the 4th one, and probably that's one of the most important is controversy. Problem most people online is they're trying to please everybody. Yeah. You can never win online or really anywhere if you're trying to please people. You have to understand 80% of people may hate you, but the other 20% are going to make you rich, famous, and happy. So the key is being controversial. Like, I've always told the story whenever I do a daily video on Facebook, and one day I had the idea to do a video called Why You Were Poor. Now, I was 14 at the time, so if you're 14, you do a video why you're poor, it's going to get some hate, right? A lot of hate for that. So at first, I wasn't going to post it because I knew how much hate it would get. But when it came to the next day, I didn't post anything the previous day, and everyone's like, where's the video? And I hadn't filmed anything because we were traveling, so I was like, fine, I'll upload it. So I uploaded the Why You're Poor video, knew it was going to get hate, and I shut off my phone for like 24 hours because I just expected it, right?
You knew it was
Usually
coming.
I respond, but I knew this was going to get hate because it was the truth, but a lot of people can't handle the truth. Open back up my phone 24 hours later, I was right. Hate. You're the worst. Stop doing videos. Boom, 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 boom. And these are all just the comments. So I thought, man, if I'm getting this publicly, what are people saying to me privately? So I go into my messages, and there's just paragraphs. People just ripping me. And I finally come across a message from this one guy that absolutely shocked me. He said, Caleb, your videos are so dumb that the world would be better off if you just committed suicide. And I was blown away. Like, you ever... And I use this analogy. You ever been like in the snow and you like put your hand in the snow or something? Like, just imagine you dip your hand in the snow and it's just freezing. You just leave it there and then you pull it out. It's kind of numb. And imagine if someone smacked your hand as hard as they possibly could. Like the sting that you would have from the cold mixed with the snow mixed with the wetness and the slap. You just would have, it would feel like a sting. Yeah. That's how I felt. I felt just like this sting. But I said I was going to read one more message. The next message was from a mother, and the mother said, Caleb, I want to thank you. She said, my son had the worst grades in his class. He was depressed. He has no father in his life. He was constantly negative, and he got to the place last week where I caught him trying to kill himself. But after seeing your videos, he's now motivated. He's getting better grades. He's making friends. He has more confidence. He's positive. And then she said, Caleb, I want to thank you. Because of you, not only is my son not dead, but he's finally alive. And and in that moment,
That's awesome.
I realized how many times do we let haters get in the way of our impact? You know, how many times do we let that one message from that guy who tells us to kill ourselves stop us from saving somebody who is going to kill themselves? So you have to be controversial and not be afraid to get hate and understand when people hate you, first of all, they're jealous. Second of all, I've never had a critic with a better resume than me. That's another thing, all right? And
People
thirdly,
that do well want you to do well.
they want me to do well and they respect what I'm doing. But the people who aren't doing anything in their life, they're going to criticize me. And I realize if 10 people comment on my video and hate it, but there's one person their life was changed, it was worth me doing that video. So step out of that. If your Aunt June comments something on your Facebook and hates on you, who cares? You never know who you're going to impact. And not only that, you never know what financial gain you're going to get from that. You never know in life how you're going to be able to provide for your family more. Stop caring what people think about you and stop just trying to impress people and start trying to impress upon people your truth. And I feel like that's the key.
Yeah, I mean, you even said it at that point when you received that message, it hurt you so bad that you were like, maybe I don't even do videos
When I got
anymore.
that first message about killing myself, I literally almost thought, I've never kill myself, but I thought to myself, man, maybe if someone thinks this highly that I should stop doing videos, maybe I really should.
Yeah.
And I contemplated it, and I'm glad I didn't because the next message, look what happened.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then now, tell me about, you say it's almost your obligation now. You're tired. I mean, we all get tired, right? We all have busy lives. We're doing something, and we don't feel like something we should be doing. But tell me about how dedicated you are to making videos. It's not about you.
Yeah. Here's the deal. I'm going to say a very simple statement that is going to take a lot of people off, but it's the truth. And that is this. If you were unmotivated, you are selfish. See, the reason why I wake up in the morning and I never, am like, oh, I don't want to do a video today, is because I realize if I don't want to do a video today and say I don't do it, then there could be somebody who would have seen that video and not committed suicide. They might go and kill themselves. So for me, get out of your head, get out of the selfishness that you have and realize you're not just working for yourself. You're working to impact people. You're working for your family. When you don't feel motivated, step into that mode and realize what difference can you be making? So for me, not being motivated, not working hard, not doing that stuff is selfish. Being average for me is selfish because I know the impact I can make on the world. It'd be easy for me just to go and just, play video games and just always hang out with my friends and do that stuff. But the truth is, I know there's some sacrifices that I need to make to influence other people's lives, to do big things so that I can make a difference. So in my opinion, I feel like if you're not motivated, if you don't work hard, if you don't do that stuff, you're just being selfish. Because the people that you could make a difference in their lives, you're stopping yourself from making that impact.
Yeah, and that leads me to another question: is author of 9 books.
Yes.
So 16 years old, you're making these daily videos. Why should somebody be writing a book? Because I think that's also opened a lot of doors for you as well.
Yeah, for sure. I would say the number one thing that propelled me forward, because I was getting 120 views on a video at 13. The number one thing that jumped everything was number one, consistency and following those secrets. But the real thing was the writing the first book. Mm-hmm. My first book, Keys to Success for Kids. The thing about a book, if you think about religions, right? And I'm not a very religious guy, but if you think about it, all the religions that are out there, how do they get their message out? They got it through a book. Mm-hmm. The reason why is people, they relate to books, it captivates them, they view it as a more credible source. And I've had friends that have gone up to speak at an event, let's say, and there was 2 people that they were, it was them and another person that were competing, and because they hadn't have written a book and the other person had, they could have the exact same content and be just as good, but the person with the book is going to win. Yeah. It brings credibility, it makes you automatically an expert at what you're talking about, and it propelled me to where I am today. And that's why we do what we do with Maddix Publishing, helping people publish and promote their books and stuff of that nature, is because we know how much of a difference it can make, how much money you can make if you do it the right way, and how many people you can impact through a book.
Yeah, Les Brown talks about it a lot, in a lot of his talks about in the graveyard, there's so many ideas in the graveyard
Yes.
that never got to see the light of day because the people were, I want
100%.
to say, like, they were selfish, right?
Yeah,
They
no,
didn't
100%.
let that knowledge
I
out.
would say this: the best book ever written has never been written. The best song ever sung, never sung.
Yeah.
The best, movie ever made was never made, because all these things are ideas that were not executed on. See, everyone has $1 million idea. Everybody, every single human that's watching this right now has $1 million idea. Problem is, most people put in minimum wage execution. Your actions have to match what it is that you want to accomplish. Your actions have to match what it is that you're trying to do and like the ideas that you have. So understand this, the gun that kills the most people is the gunna. It's people that say they're gonna write a book and gonna start a business and gonna lose weight. And this gun is murdering people's dreams because they say they're going to so much that they never actually do. It's like they say, there's 7 days in a week, but someday isn't one of them. So if you have a book idea, you have a song idea, you have an idea for a business, you have an idea that something you want to do with your family, whatever it is, whatever ideas that you may have in your brain, I encourage all of you guys to go take action on them, because there's nothing worse than regret.
Absolutely. Take massive action. What recommendations would you give somebody that doesn't even know where to start with social media? What do you recommend them? How do they start? What do they do first? I'm sure you get this question time and time again, but what would be your advice for somebody that's like, oh, I'm not good in front of camera? Or...
Yeah. Well, first of all, once again, I would say this. If you're not good in front of camera, never say you're not good in front of camera.
Yeah.
You're not confident, never say you're not confident. You're this, never say. You have to first step into what you want to be before you are. So whenever I became an official millionaire in, I think it was February, which is crazy because I wrote 2 years prior to that in an article in Inc. whenever I was 14 that I'll be a millionaire whenever I turn, or in February whenever I'm 16. Boom,
Nice.
happened. So I became a millionaire that day, and I was sitting down with one of my friends, and my friend was like, Caleb, how do you feel? And I said, I feel the exact same way that I did 2 years ago. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, I was a millionaire back then, I just didn't have the money yet. And see, the thing is, before you can be and have something, you must be and have that thing. Before you lose the weight, you must feel like you've lost the weight. You must walk like you've lost the weight. You must talk like you've lost the weight. Before you make your money, you must feel like you've made your money. You must act like you've made that money. So step into who it is that you want to be, rather than constantly making up these excuses and labeling yourself as you are, because you will never change. Like I said, the way that I went from having zero confidence to where I couldn't even, say a word at my kindergarten graduation to now be able to speak in front of thousands of people is because my dad never allowed me to say that I wasn't confident. Even though I wasn't, he never allowed me to say that. So what labels are holding you back? So that was it for me, is like, just never saying that it wasn't that thing and stepping into kind of that role.
So you're a big believer in the law of attraction, what you believe, and
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. And that, real quick, to go back though, that's what I would tell people that starting off on social media is, don't believe that you're not good on camera. Don't just start putting out stuff and taste as much as possible. Like, how do you know if you like salmon or not?
Try it.
You try it, right? So how do you know if a video of you talking about this is gonna work? Try it. How do you know if this is gonna work? Try it. How do you know if you should do entertainment or this or what? Try it. Just put stuff out there, and eventually stuff is gonna start to click. And remember, it's about being in action. It's not even about, it's not being perfect or finding the right thing or even being smart or whatever. The person who's into the most action is going to win. Someone who sits there for a year and contemplates what they should post, rather than someone who starts today and posts every day for a year and sucks for 6 months, that person's still going to win against the person that thinks for a year. Get out of your head, guys. Get into action.
Absolutely. Another question I have for you is, you have so much energy, you're huge motivation to me. Thousands, millions of people out there. What motivates you yourself? You have a daily ritual you follow. What keeps you going every day?
First of all, I like that though. Going back to what I just said, get out of your head, get in action. I'm just gonna take, because I want to take that clip and use it for my Instagram. So I need to re-say it in a cool way. What motivates me? It's one simple thing: freedom. I mention this on stage, and this is why I answer every time, because people ask me this all over the world. What motivates you, Caleb? Like, when you motivate us, what motivates you? Freedom. Number one, freedom for myself. I don't want to be 20 and be looking for a job. I want to be 20 and be providing jobs. I want financial freedom. I want freedom to do what I want. I want freedom to do a job that I love. I want freedom to be able to be in places like this in Cancun and just be able to do this stuff. I don't want my kids to be like, hey, get out, can I get this, and not be able. So number one, freedom is like my motivation for number one myself, but the number two is freedom for other people. Like I said, the reason why I wake up and put in work is 'cause I think about, what about that little kid who's gonna watch my video and is gonna do big things? What if today I don't work and he misses out on becoming a Maddix addict whatsoever, right? So for me, that's what fuels me. You know, I've been on over 50, probably my accomplishment I take the most pride in is the fact I've been on over 53 mission trips. And for me, that motivates me. Being able to do stuff like that, being able to set people free, being like the authors that come in Max Publishing, knowing that if they write their book, how many people their book is going to set free, but then also the life they're going to be able to live, how they're going to be able to quit their 9 to 5 and go after it, how we get them results. So for me, freedom is my driving force and is what motivates me more than anything. And I used to have in my room before we just got a new place, so we're putting everything together. But in my room, it just had in front of on top of my bed, it said FREEDOM, freedom. That's my one word. That's what fuels me. Freedom's my fuel.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm gonna end it on this story. You and your dad are just huge inspirations to me and millions of people out there. But what you said, giving back, the amount of lives you can change. You're living in a condo and somebody was living above you in a completely different life. People's lives can be changed by just a little intervention or a video you make. So tell me a little bit about that story about the guys living above you.
So the other day, my dad and I have a podcast called Maddix Motivations, which all you guys should check out, by the way.
Absolutely.
And we had just gotten done recording our podcast, my dad and I, Max Motivations. It was fire, and my dad, me, and his girlfriend, we were all just kind of sitting there and like talking about the show, how we felt it went, what we can improve, all that stuff. We were kind of just going back and forth, and we started hearing all these sirens going off. We were like, what the heck is, because we live in a city, so sirens are normal, but there was a lot of them going off. So we were kind of confused, but we kept talking. I got a call from my friend, and my friend's like, yo, the person that lives right above you is on the outside of the rail, and he's about to jump. So my dad and I rushed outside, immediately went right to our balcony, looked up, and we literally saw him right above us. We immediately started talking to him. Now, I've studied like how to deal with people like that and all that stuff. So my dad and I started kind of talking to him a little bit, trying to convince him not to, telling him he's loved, stuff of that nature. And next thing you know, he went from like looking like he was really gonna do it to like calming down. We got the police in there. 2 police went into his apartment, 2 went into ours. They started talking to him, and we talked him off the rail, and he didn't jump. But it was really, it was a crazy experience, and we were shooken up. But the main thing that I picked up from it wasn't even like how cool it was that we, he stopped him from killing himself. That was amazing. But one thing that really impacted me was I started thinking, think about in life how we have the exact same circumstances. Me and him. I live 1 apartment below him. So technically his place is nicer than us. Has even a better view, right? 1 below him. We have the nicest amenities. I kind of know the guy. I've never met him, but I have heard of him. He's a wealthy dude. He has money. Like he's pretty set.
In that building, yeah.
And he got to the place where he was thinking about ending his life. And it just showed me, yes, like, people always say like, money's not everything. Money's a huge part. Like money does give a lot of freedom, and I think you should pursue money. But money's not where everything's at. And neither is just meditating and all these other solutions. I really believe there's 4 areas of life that gives people true fulfillment. First one is financial. I think you do need financial freedom. Second one is physical, health. Third one is spiritual. And then fourth one is spiritual, financial, relational. And then the fourth one's relational. So those 4 things, they kind of rhyme and everything, which kind of works together. But that's the key. Number 1, like I said, financial. I think you need financial freedom. I feel like that will give you a lot of freedom to do what you want, right? I feel like you can be happy without it, but at least progressing towards it and doing something financially that you love to do.
Well, you'd never be able to go on all these mission trips, helping the
Exactly.
homeless
That's another
without
thing.
that.
Yeah, you really wouldn't. Like, we were at Thrive Connect, and Naveen Jain spoke, and I heard him someone asked him, I want to start a nonprofit. What's your advice? And the guy, Naveen asked, are you financially free? And the guy said, no, I'm not. And Naveen Jain, who's worth $8 billion, he has tons of these nonprofits and changed the world in so many ways you guys don't even know. Naveen was like, okay, my advice is shut down your nonprofit until you get the money, then go once you have the money and start it. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. I've had friends that have run themselves in the ground just trying to impact people. Yes, but you also need freedom for yourself. So number 1 is financial. I feel like that is a part of success. Number 2 is spiritual. I feel like, how grateful are you? Can you sit there on this, he lives on the 17th floor and realize, look how great life is. Look at the fact that right now, me and you are sitting, filming a video to impact people in Cancun, and there's literally kids that are being sold into sex slave trafficking as we speak. So like for me, that's what puts me in a perspective, having that spiritual gratitude and giving back and understanding that when nothing's going good for you, go do something good for somebody else. It's impact over income. So giving, those mission trips I've been on. So I think there's spiritual aspect. Then I think it's relational. That's what I think his was. Some with his wife had happened. I feel like, it's just having good relationships, treating people the right way, figuring out how you can get your relationship under control, quality time, stuff of that nature. And then the fourth one is physical. Like health. You can have everything, but if you don't have health, you don't have your body, then you're not successful. Those four things, in my opinion, is what makes up a true successful and fulfilled life. And you don't have to have $1 billion financially. You don't have to have the best body, but the key is that those four things you are progressing in every single day. It's the progression, not the result, not where you're at, but it's the progression towards those things that is gonna give you true fulfillment and success.
Man, well, I really appreciate it. Again, thank you,
sir.
brother. Keep it up.
You too, man. You too. I'm looking forward to seeing all your videos continue to blow up. The tacos out of the pants and all that stuff. I like it.
What's the best way for people to connect with you? And if you're watching this video and you're not following him, follow him. He is going to impact your life. Nuggets that he's dropped on me in a short amount of time. It's like I've had struggles in my life where I'm like, man, this is really difficult. And when you put it in perspective the other day when you said, no matter how difficult your life is, it's your worst day is better than most people's best day.
That's true. It is true.
And so I really appreciate you sharing just from the heart.
Yeah.
You're an amazing. So how can people get in?
Last thing I want to say real quick, and then I'll share where they can get, because I like what you just said about, your worst day is better than some people's best day. The truth is this, guys. If you're not happy now, you will never be happy. That's something I've really been thinking about a lot lately, because I keep thinking, there have been days where I'll be kind of down and discouraged, but I'll think, well, whenever I, have another video get 100 million views, then I'll be like, or whenever I hit $1 billion, then I'll be. But then I have to sit back and realize, if you're not happy in this exact moment, then there will never be a day that you're happy. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about, can you be happy in your lowest points? Well, my dad and I, whenever I was like 10 years old and we lived in a Sunday school room because we were so broke, we couldn't afford a place, we had to go and live in a Sunday school room. My dad and I were happy then. Yeah. When we'd have to bike ride to Chick-fil-A because our car got taken away, when we would bike ride, I remember we used to treat it like a game and think, wow, we're bike riding Chick-fil-A right now. But you know what? Like, there'd be one day that this will be in our movie whenever it's made about our life. Like, how happy can you be in your lowest points? That's going to determine the fulfillment you have at your highest points. So my encouragement to you guys, even if you're not where you want to be right now, be where you are. Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the failures. Enjoy those hard times. Final message of the day. Be happy now. You'll be happy later. Where you guys can find me, I'm at Caleb Maddix on every social media except Snapchat. There, I'm at Caleb Maddix 13. So just CalebMaddix. Whatever social media you use, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, wherever it's at, hit me up on all of them. Send me messages. I respond to more messages than you guys would expect. Love to hear what you guys thought about this interview and if you guys got some value.
Absolutely. If you need a taco man for your video, let me know.
Hey, we're going to collaborate. We're going to collaborate. I believe it.
Absolutely. You got to follow this kid. I shouldn't even say kid. You're wiser.
I love when people say that because I am a kid. So, like, I don't get mad whenever people say I'm a kid.
You're wiser than the 50 and 60-year-olds I talk to.
You, so I appreciate it.
You're wise beyond your years. And like I said, keep it up. Awesome. Thanks so much, Caleb. All right. We'll see you soon. Thanks.